Hello, my viewers. Today I want to talk about India as I promised, because India is also a main destination where people travel for medical, some for tourism, some go for education, and so it is very important to do a very nice video regarding India. First of all, we know that the capital city for India is called Delhi, and we have many other cities. Secondly, I want to talk about the admission and transit restrictions. Number one, nationals of Pakistan are only allowed to enter or transit through India if arriving at Chennai. Chennai, the code for that city is MAA. So Delhi and Mumbai. Mumbai, the code for the city is BOM. Delhi is DEL. So Pakistan nationals can only enter or transit through India if arriving at Chennai, Delhi, and Mumbai. Passengers with a passport or any travel document issued by Kosovo are not allowed to enter or transit. Yeah, those from the Republic of Kosovo, you should never try to go to India or even to transit. You cannot pass through India at all. For the crew members, for those who work as crew members, same regulations as for passengers. So you have to comply with everything depending on your nationality. And you must have a passport. You must have a private property list, PPL. You must have a temporary riding permit and general declaration. In all the flights, by the way, even in the European flights, I've worked even for European flights, all the crew are normally in a GENDEC. It's normally called a GENDEC, a general declaration with all the names. It even comes before they arrive, because they have to go through immigration and they have to verify the names. For the military, same regulations as for passengers. Yes. For minors, because we also have minors who travel who are younger than 16 years, minors younger than 16 years registered in a parent's passport are allowed to enter. So you can note that. The other thing for the minors, number two, nationals of India traveling to and from Nepal aged between 15 years of below 15 years of age must have documents with a photograph to confirm their age. So note that, please. And then the other one, you can travel with an identity certificate issued by the principal or head of an educational institution. This applies to the nationals of India who are below 15 years of age. And I can repeat it because I want it to get into your nerves. Nationals of India traveling to and from Nepal, aged below 15 years of age, must have documents with a photograph to confirm their age, or 15 up to or including 18 years. 15 to or including 18 years of age can travel with an identity certificate issued by the principal or head of an educational institution. There is a warning. In India, in every destination, even in the UK or wherever, we normally have warnings, and they are very important to note. Nationals of India with a passport that contains a stamp extended by the issue of a fresh booklet must travel with the new booklet. So if you're an Indian national with such a document, when you are traveling from any destination, you must travel with whatever I've said, the new booklet. The second warning, passports must be machine readable to enter. This does not apply to visitors with a visa issued by India. Remember, India, most of the people can get a visa online. But there are nationalities who go to the embassy and get a visa which is put in the passport. That is what I normally call a sticker visa. Remember, I told you I'm a trainer in travel documents. I have worked for an Indian flight. I know rules regarding India. So, if you have a non-machine readable passport, I do not know whether people know the machine readable documents. For example, take your passport now. If you have a US passport, there at the bottom, you shall see some information at the bottom of the passport at the biodata, which have the photograph. You are going to see some information there written. Maybe if it is a passport, it is going to start with the P. You are going to see so many writings there, digital and many writings. You are going to see some chevrons. That is what is called machine readable. That is where, when we are checking the documents, we can put that information to a reader and we can get to verify your passport. That is what is called machine readable. And even in the visa, there is normally the machine readable zone at the bottom of the visa. You can see some writings, date of birth, the gender. Though they are not written the way you might think, they are normally there at the bottom. That is what we call the machine readable. So if your passport is not machine readable and you do not have a visa issued by India, you may be apply online, the electronic visa, you cannot fly to India. That is very good to note. Most of the passports now are machine readable. For example, Kenyan passport is machine readable, Nigerian passport is machine readable, most African passports are machine readable. US passport is machine readable, Canadian, New Zealand, Australia, UK, European territories, all the passports are machine readable. It is very rare to see passports that are non-machine readable, though in the past I saw some passports a long time ago. There's a time I saw a Sudanese passport that was not machine readable, but mostly now those are already expired, so they are not longer in use. They are no longer in use. I had seen an Afghani passport for many years back that were non-machine readable, but fortunately most of the passports are machine readable. Let us note that. And then there are some nationalities who do not need visa to go to India, though they are very few. Who are they? Nationals of India, those, because that one is their country. Nationals of Bhutan. You know Bhutan. Bhutan is a country that neighbors India. It is written Bhutan. So nationals of Bhutan and Nepal, if not arriving from or transiting through China. So they should not be coming from China. If you are Bhutanese or a Nepalese, you should not be coming from China. So you can enter, or even Pakistan. So let me repeat again. Nationals of Bhutan and Nepal, if not arriving from or transiting through China, China's People's Republic, Hong Kong, Macau, or Pakistan. But remember, in China we have got those other countries. We have got the Special Administrative Republic of China. We have got Macau, Special Administrative Republic. We have got Hong Kong. So Hong Kong, those countries, you cannot go from Nepal, or if you are Bhutanese or Nepalese, you cannot enter India or transit coming from those countries that I've mentioned. Take note of that. Nationals of Barbados do not also need a visa. They are exempted completely without any condition. Nationals of the Maldives for a maximum stay of 90 days. So for Maldives, if you have a Maldives passport, you can enter India for 90 days. And then we have got nationals of Belarus, Denmark, and Singapore with a diplomatic passport. Take note of that. Not any other passport, only diplomats. Yes. Then we have got number 7, nationals of Albania, Algeria, Andorra, Angola, Antigua and Barbuda, Argentina, Armenia, Austria, Azerbaijan, Bahamas, Bahrain, Belize, Benin, Bolivia, Botswana, Brazil, Bulgaria, Chile, Colombia, Comoros, Costa Rica, Cuba, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Djibouti, Dominican Republic, because you remember we have got Dominica and Dominican Republic, Ecuador, Egypt, El Salvador, Equatorial Guinea, Estonia, Eswatini, Fiji, Finland, France. I'm not going to mention all of them, but all these nationals with a diplomatic passport do not need a visa. Take note of that. The country that I've read, and I've left some of them, and that all these nationalities with a diplomatic passport can enter India without a visa. So not the normal passport. Remember, the normal passport, we normally call it normal, regular or ordinary, is for a regular citizen or a normal citizen or an ordinary citizen who is not a diplomat in a particular country. So if you have a normal passport, remember you are not in this group. I'm not gonna read of them. There are many of them. Portugal, Qatar, Romania, Spain, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Sweden, Switzerland, Tanzania, Thailand, Tunisia, United Arab Emirates. So all these ones are passengers with a diplomatic passport. They do not need a visa to enter India. So because mostly they are going to be going there for diplomatic mission. Then the other one who do not need a visa, passengers with the Palestinian Authority VIP passport for a maximum stay of 90 days. So remember, that one is only for the VIP passport, not the normal for Palestine. Nationals of Cambodia, Kuwait, Syria and Uzbekistan with a diplomatic passport for a maximum stay of 60 days. Nationals of Bangladesh with a diplomatic passport for a maximum days of 45 days. All these things are different. Nationals of Afghanistan, Cote d'Ivoire, Croatia, Indonesia, Iran, Kazakhstan, Laos Republic, Laos People's Democratic Republic, Morocco, Philippines, Sri Lanka, Suriname, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uruguay with a diplomatic passport for a maximum stay of 30 days. Nationals of Brunei Darussalam with a diplomatic passport. I'm not gonna talk about all of those diplomatic passports that do not need a visa because there are very many. You can always go and check it in the Indian website. I'm just giving you an overview or something at least to give you a guideline. But most of the normal passports, you need a visa. So if you're not a diplomat, my dear, you need a visa. But even if you're a diplomat, check whether your diplomatic passport is allowed to enter without a visa. There are so many of them. You also have got nationals of Cote d'Ivoire, Croatia, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Morocco, Suriname, and Tajikistan with the service passports. You know the service passports also. Those are passports given to people who serve in the government. Sometimes even people who are going to do peacekeeping. For example, the army going to do peacekeeping in foreign missions. They use the service passports. So a service passport is not a diplomatic passport, but a passport given to a government worker. So those are most of the passports that do not need a visa. But for the normal passports and the regular passports or the ordinary, it is normal, through regular, through ordinary, you require a visa. So I'm not gonna go continue reading all those things because I'm not gonna read out for you all those things because there are many. Then we have got nationals of Kuwait with a special passport for a maximum stay of 60 days. I'll just give some tips just to let you know some things, not all of them because there are so many. Indian destination is very, very wide. Yeah, and then we have got passengers with a person of Indian origin card. If you have a person of Indian origin card, you can travel to India without a visa as long as you are from any destination. And remember, India do not allow dual citizenship. If you see someone with an Indian passport and another passport, that one is not possible. They do not allow, not unless otherwise. Because I keep saying rules keep changing. But for now, if someone is an Indian, has an Indian passport, they cannot get another passport. So they either have to have the other. For example, I've seen so many Indians with British passports. So what they normally have those documents like the PIO, the persons of Indian origin card, or the OCI. I know those people who check documents know that, or those people who have these documents. You can see a British national who is an Indian origin with a British passport, and when having an OCI, overseas citizen of India card. It's normally a booklet. So that is a different category. India do not allow dual citizen. Those Indians who live in Kenya, they normally either have an Indian passport or they have a Kenyan passport and something else for India. They cannot have two passports. They don't allow. So that is it. And then passengers with a re-entry permit issued by India. If you have got a re-entry permit issued by India, you do not need a visa. That one you can travel to India without a visa. That is very good to know. And then there's something we normally call TWOV. TWOV. Transit without visa. Who can transit without a visa? Passengers transiting through Bangalore. I know most people who have gone to India know Bangalore. Yeah, Bangalore. It is normally the code for the 3-letter code for that city is BLR. So you are going through Bangalore and then Chennai. Chennai, the 3-letter code is MAA. Chennai, MAA. Write that down. You remember, I'm a teacher. I'm very strict. Write down whatever I'm saying. And then Delhi. Delhi, the 3-letter code is DEL. And then Kolkata. The 3-letter code for Kolkata is CCU. And then we have got Mumbai. Mumbai, the 3-letter code is BOM. Sometimes they call it Bombay, but it is Mumbai, BOM, with a confirmed onward ticket for a flight to a third country within 24 hours. Take note of this because some people come to the airport with wrong transit time. Yes, you have to have an onward confirmed ticket within 24 hours, and the connecting flight must be booked on the same ticket, and the luggage must be checked all to the final destination. Take note of that. We have offloaded so many people going to India with wrong routing. Yes, they must stay in the international transit area of the airport and have documents required for the next destination. So that is the 12th. I know you have got it because you have got your pen and paper. I prefer even you have something, a handbook. The transit without visa facility does not apply to refugees and stateless persons. So if you have a refugee travel document, because we normally have people traveling as refugees and it is allowed because they have their human rights, don't try that. You cannot transit without a visa in India. And then the second one for the transit without a visa are passengers transiting through Hyderabad. I know there are people who know Hyderabad. The 3-letter code is HYD, HYD, with a confirmed onward ticket for a flight to a third country within 24 hours. The connection flight must be booked on the same ticket. I've ever seen people coming with the tickets that are separate tickets. Never book a separate ticket because that one you cannot be allowed to go through India, through Hyderabad, India. So, the luggage must be checked to the final destination. Your luggage, if you are going through India to another destination, the luggage must reach the final destination. And you must stay in the international transit area of the airport and have documents required for the next needed for the next destination. So if you are transiting through India, maybe going to Malaysia, you must have documents. You must have the required transit time, 24 hours, within 24 hours, ticket booked in the same booking, and then documents for Malaysia. If, for example, if you are going to Malaysia or maybe to Indonesia or anywhere else, because there are some people who transit through India to some other destinations. Then there is another thing, number 3. Passengers transiting through Cochin. When you know Cochin, the 3-letter code is COK. 3-letter code COK with a confirmed onward ticket for a flight to a third country within 24 hours. The connecting flight must be booked on the same ticket and the luggage must be checked to the final destination, the same thing. And you must stay in the international transit area of the airport and have documents required for the next destination. Airlines must obtain approval from immigration before departure. This one have a condition. So the airline must obtain approval from immigration. But that one is not yours now. That one is for the airline before departure. So, transit without visa does not apply to refugees and stateless persons. That one is now Cochin or the COK. So, the number 4, passengers on flight AI-263 transiting from New Delhi to Thiruvananthapuram. Let me repeat it. Passengers on flight Air India 263, AI-263, that stands for Air India, AI-263, transiting from New Delhi. And New Delhi, the 3-letter code is DEL. The 3-letter code is DEL to Thiruvananthapuram. Thiruvananthapuram. I'm repeating that because I want you to write. Thiruvananthapuram. 3-letter code is TRV. And traveling to Male. You know Male in Maldives. You are traveling to Male. Male is written M-A-L-E. It's like male. You are M-A-L-E. Male. And the 3-letter code for male or Male is M-L-E. Can transit without a visa. And you must remain in the aircraft in Thiruvananthapuram. You cannot come out of the aircraft in this case. You must remain in the aircraft in Thiruvananthapuram. Into the 3-letter code is TRV. So that one you can't come out of the airplane. And then there is some additional information to help you. Hotel facilities are available in Terminal 3 at Delhi for passengers with a boarding pass for their connection flight. You can always inquire in Delhi regarding that. You can be guided. So, for people who are going as merchant seamen, remember there are people who travel to India as merchant seamen. Those are people who normally go to work in cruise ships. I've cleared so many passengers going even to Europe to work on cruise ships, even to the US with the US C1D visa for cruise ship. So in this case for India, visa is required except for merchant seamen who are nationals of India. So if you are merchant seaman from another destination, my dear, you shall need a visa. Yes. For the crew members, operating crew, visa is not required if holding a temporary landing permit and departing within 72 hours. So for the crew members, do not worry, as long as you are operating crew. Yes, because remember, we normally have operating crew and deadheading crew. Deadheading crew are those who travel as passengers. So they are in their crew, but in that flight they are not operating. So this one's apply for the operating crew. Longer stays are permitted, but the airline has to state the reason and obtain permission to depart from the foreign regional registration office. It is normally called AFRO. Yes, at the time of departure. So if you are not, if there is anything that is not whatever I've read here, the stays are longer. It is permissible, but the airline has to state the reason and obtain permission to depart from the foreign regional office. Don't forget that. So positioning crew, same regulations as for passengers. This does not apply to nationals of Afghanistan, China's People's Republic, Ethiopia, Iran, Nigeria, Pakistan, Somalia, or Sri Lanka. Yes. So for the whatever I've read regarding the crew, there's something I read regarding the crew. I said regarding the crew, it does not apply to the nationals that I've just read. So if you are national of Afghanistan, China's People's Republic, you are from Ethiopia, Iran, Iraq, Nigeria, Pakistan, Somalia, or Sri Lanka, it does not apply to you. For the crew member, even if you're operating or anything, that one does not apply to you. You are not allowed. So, and then for the crew members, number 2, visa is not required if crew member is a national of the Russian Federal Republic and travels with a passport and an air crew ID card. Remember, crew normally have ID cards. So the crew member must also be listed on the general declaration form. Remember when I was starting, I talked about the GenDec. We normally call it a general declaration. A general declaration is a declaration that normally have all the names of the crew. We normally even get those declarations before the crew arrive or depart, because we have to have those ones. Yes, there must be accountability. So if there is any doubt, always ask. So for the military, same regulations as for passengers apply. There are people who can get a visa. There are people who can get a visa in India. And there are some people who can get an online visa. Who are these people? Listen very carefully. E-visas can be obtained before departure. So before you come out of your country, obtain an electronic visa. Remember, I talked about electronic visas, and I know you know what an electronic visa is. It is a visa that you apply online. You do not need to go to a particular embassy. You do your application online in the government website, and then the visa is granted. But it normally have conditions. So you can get an e-visa before departure at HTTP. Kindly take your pen well and write in your book. HTTPS:// Yes, let me start again, because I want it to enter into your brain. E-visas can be obtained before departing from your country at HTTPS:// Indian Visa Online.gov, and the spelling for gov is GOV, standing for government, and then .in/. Do not forget that. HTTPS:// Indian Visa Online.gov.in, standing for India, IN, and then /. And passengers using the e-visa for the first time must have a passport with at least 2 unused visa pages. I've seen people coming to the airport with those visas, and the passport does not have a free visa page. What do I mean by a free visa page? A blank page that is not written at all. Nothing written at all. So always check that. If you are traveling on an e-visa, your passport must have 2 free visa page. They are normally called unused. Yes, and a printed confirmation of the electronic travel authorization, ETA, with status granted. By the way, at the time I had a family, by the way, they were coming from Kenya. they are Indian nationals, but they are Kenyan citizens. Because as I told you, in India do not allow two citizenships. So they are Indian descent, origin, but because they are Kenyan citizens, because they live in Kenya, they were traveling to India with the e-visas. Funny enough, one visa for the child the status was not approved. So be very careful, because it can happen. The parents' visa were granted status. It is normally written very clearly in black and white. Granted. Because you can apply for an ETA and it can be in the process of being granted, but it hasn't been granted. So I offloaded them because they could not travel without their child. The child's visa was not approved. So please be checking that. The status of the ETA must be granted. Normally written in black and white. Very, very clearly. The immigration officer stamps the e-visa in the passport with the expiry date of the visa and the number of entries allowed. So when you travel to India with the e-visa, because it is in paper form, when you arrive in India, an immigration officer in India will stamp your passport now with the validity of the visa now. It is not now going to change. Because remember, after you enter, there is a condition. The visa changes. They are going to write for you. They are going to stamp for you the validity of the visa, and it will be very clear in your passport. But whenever you go to the airport, document checkers can also guide you on how to check that stamp. And then there is something. Nationals of the United Arab Emirates with a normal passport can obtain a visa on arrival for a maximum stay of 60 days. The visa can be obtained at Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, Hyderabad, and Kolkata. Yes. And Mumbai, sorry. Kolkata and even Mumbai. Let me repeat. Nationals of the United Arab Emirates, UAE, can obtain a visa on arrival. Those ones don't need to apply for the ETA, but there's a condition, because they must enter in the following cities. Can be obtained at Bangalore, that is normally called BILR, the 3-letter code, BLR. Chennai is normally MAA. Delhi is DEL. Hyderabad, HYD. Kolkata, CCU. And Mumbai, BOM. So, and they must have previously obtained an e-visa on a visa at the past. They must have previously obtained an electronic visa, or a visa at the passport must be valid for a minimum of 6 months from the arrival date. So see here, there is a condition for the people from the United Arab Emirates. And they must complete an application form before departure. So before they come from their country traveling to India, they must complete an application form before departure or even upon arrival. You can choose. But I prefer someone doing it before departure to avoid any hassles at point of entry. Because at point of entry, anything can happen. And then you are told to go back, because maybe there is network problem or anything. So kindly do it before departure. So the form is https:// indianvisaonline.gov.in or in, not in meaning India, in/visa/arrival.html. I hope you have listened to that one, and I hope you have taken your pen and paper. Please kindly take your pen. I repeat, because I'm a very strict teacher, and I want you to learn. You must complete an application form before departure or upon arrival at https://visa/visa-on-arrival.gov.in/visa/visa-on-arrival.html. So, and this one does not apply to passengers born in Pakistan. If at all you are UAE national and your place of birth is Pakistan, even if you are now living in the UAE, does not apply. This does not apply also to permanent residents of Pakistan. If you are permanent resident of Pakistan, this visa on arrival does not apply to you. So be very careful. As long as you live in Pakistan permanently, because you could be a United Arab Emirates national, but you reside in Pakistan. This does not apply. So number 3 of the visa issuance, nationals of Japan and Korea Republic. We know we have got 2 Korea. We have got North Korea. Those never travel. I've never seen a North Korean. Okay. So with a normal passport valid for up minimum of 6 months from the arrival date, can obtain a visa on arrival for a maximum stay of 60 days. The visa can be obtained at Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Mumbai, and you must complete an application form before departure. The application form is the same one that I read for you. That one is not hard. Just the same application form for the United Arab Emirates. So for them, we have got additional information. Medical attendance visas are valid when traveling together with the passenger visiting India for medical purpose. I have seen passengers coming to the airport. Someone is traveling maybe to escort a medical passenger, someone who is a sick patient. They come before the patient and they claim that they are going to go ahead of the patient and the patient is going to follow later. That one is not allowed. If you are accompanying a medical passenger or a patient, you should travel together. But in some instances, when you have a visa that you are going to check someone in India who already traveled, because it is possible, you are going to follow the due process. Because now there is normally confusion. You come to the airport, you are escorting a patient, and the patient is not with you. You left them at home. Always accompany your patient, because that visa is only valid when you have the patient together with you. The other thing about the additional information, which is very important, Indian visa stickers have no seal. If you ever see an Indian visa with a seal, know that one is not an Indian visa. They do not put a seal. Most of the visas, for example, the Schengen visas, if you have an Italian visa, you shall see a seal. The embassy normally stamps a seal to authenticate the visa. But for India, they do not. So that one is not bad to note, because your teacher wants you to be a good learner. You could be a document checker, and then you see somebody coming to the airport with a visa for India, having a seal from the Indian authority. They do not put seals in their visas, not unless otherwise, because rules keep changing. So that one is very good to note, my dear ones. Valid e-visas, this is still to the additional information that I'm adding to you. Valid e-visas or electronic travel authorizations issued against a passport that has expired are accepted if the passenger travels with the expired passport together with the valid passport of the same nationality. Do not forget this. Maybe you took an e-visa with a passport, then it expired, but the electronic travel authorization or the e-visa is still valid. In this case, you can take another passport to validate the old passport and travel with that old passport of the same nationality. Because people normally make a mistake. Maybe I'm a Kenyan, and because Kenya we allowed to a citizen, I have a British passport. Now I had a visa issued on the Kenyan passport, but my British passport is still valid. You cannot travel. You have to have a new visa. The new passport for validating the old passport must be of the same nationality as the e-visa was issued. So if the e-visa was issued on a Kenyan passport, I should get another Kenyan passport to validate the old passport that was attached to the e-visa. I kindly note that because it is very, very important. And as I have kept singing, India does not permit dual nationality. That one I have been saying that because it is good to know. Yes. So there's another warning that I can give to people, because there is something that changed. There were some Canadians or nationals who are given a visa valid for 10 years. Those visas are no longer valid. So if you have a tourist visa in your passport and you are Canadian and it is valid for 10 years, yes, that visa is no longer valid. You need to apply for an ETA, because you can apply, or you go to the embassy and get a visa. Tourist e-visas issued to nationals of China are no longer valid. So if you are Chinese, you had an e-visa, it is not possible. That one is not valid at all. Tourist e-visas. Remember the e-visa I told you, they are electronic visa that you apply online. Issued to passengers with a Hong Kong passport are no longer valid. Tourist e-visas issued to passengers with the Macau passports. Macau, China. You know we have got China, China's People Republic. We have got Macau. Those visas issued to Macau no longer valid. Nationals of Pakistan with a normal passport must hold 2 copies of their visa application form issued by an Indian Embassy High Commission. So, or an Indian Embassy or an Indian High Commission. Pakistan nationals, kindly note this, my dear ones, because I love you. Nationals of Afghanistan, Iraq, Pakistan, and Sudan with a multiple entry tourist visa type T, it's normally written type T, with a validity ranging from above 3 months and up to 10 years, are required to have at least 60 days between visits. So if you visit, you have to stay for 60 days before you make another visit. Don't forget that, my dear ones. Nationals of China, China's People Republic, with a multiple entry tourist visa type T, with a validity ranging from 3 months up to 10 years, are required to have at least 60 days between visits. That one, the Chinese should note that. Passengers with a tourist visa or an e-tourist visa, electronic tourist visa, valid for more than 6 months, are allowed to stay for a maximum of 180 days in a calendar year. So in every year, you can stay for 180 days. It is possible. Passengers of Pakistan origin, born in Pakistan or whose parents or grandparents were born in Pakistan, with a multiple entry tourist visa type T, it's normally called type T, normally written in the visa type T, tourist, with a validity ranging from above 3 months and up to 10 years, are required to have at least 60 days between visits. So after you visit, stay for 60 days before you make another visit. Stateless persons and refugees, this is another number, with a multiple entry tourist visa type T, with a validity ranging from above 3 months and up to 10 years, are required to have at least 60 days between visits. So those are very nice tips. Passengers with the persons of India origin card. There are persons, people who normally have the persons of India origin card. Because you are originally Indian, but now you live in UK, you have got a PIO. I know you are aware of that. For those nationals of those countries, yes, must change their PIO status to OCI. I know document checkers know the PIO and the OCI. So the OCI is normally overseas citizens of India. Persons of Indian origin cards are not accepted. So with the PIO now, they are not accepted. We have been checking them and they were being accepted earlier, because I keep telling you things keep changing. Maybe even next year there will be some changes, and as you can see, things are changing in all the countries, even in the US. So that one is good to note. So the passengers with an overseas citizens of India, yes, OCI card must apply for a new overseas citizens of India OCI card only once when they obtain a new passport after turning 20 years old. Passengers do not need to present their old passport with this new OCI card. Yeah, you have seen there's a condition there. Yes, kindly take your pen and paper. I can repeat it. Passengers with an overseas citizens of India card, the one that I talked about, the OCI, must apply for a new overseas citizens of India card only once when they obtain a new passport and after turning 20 years old. Passengers do not need to present their old passport with the new OCI card during check-in. So at the check-in, when you go to the airport, do not present the old one. Visas issued to nationals of Afghanistan are not accepted for entry or transit. So Afghanistan nationals, visas issued to those nationals do not allow them to travel. Because I'm talking to passengers here and check-in agents and even those people who do travel documents. This does not apply to passengers with a printed confirmation of an electronic travel authorization for emergency X miscellaneous visa with status granted issued by the Bureau of Immigration. This does not apply to passengers with a printed confirmation of an electronic travel authorization called the ETA for emergency miscellaneous visa with status granted issued by the Bureau of Immigration. Another thing, this does not apply to passengers with a long-term visa LTV or a return visa issued by Foreign Regional Registration Office. Yes. So let us that one is normally called FRRO or FRO, Foreign Registration Office. So that is good to note. Yes. So there is something that is normally asked in India many times, the yellow fever vaccination, and people normally wonder who needs a yellow fever vaccination and who does not need. And I'm gonna tell you who needs it. So this one is in health. Passengers arriving within 6 days after leaving or transiting countries with risk of yellow fever transmission and not holding a yellow fever vaccination certificate are subject to quarantine for 6 days. So remember that. So quarantine facilities are only available at Delhi, Chennai, Mumbai and Mumbai. Only those airports. That is where you can arrive without a yellow fever and be quarantined. And remember, after being quarantined, my dear ones, you are going to take 10 days before the jab matures in your body. So that one is very risky. And if you enter in any other airport other than those three that I have led, Delhi, Chennai and Mumbai, remember you are going to be deported immediately. I have seen it. A passenger was deported not even one time, many times, without a valid yellow fever vaccination. And remember, I told you yellow fever vaccinations now are valid for a lifetime. So after you are given the jab, stay for 10 days. After it matures in your blood or in your body, now you can use it forever and ever. You can even take a photo, put it in your soft copy. You can make a photocopy for it and keep it very safe. You can even attach it to your passport, yes, to be safe. So if you arrive in any other airport and you don't have yellow fever vaccination and you have transmitted countries with risk of yellow fever, remember you are going to be deported. Those who are exempted from yellow fever vaccination are children under 6 months of age. So if your child is under 6 months of age, even if they transited or stayed in countries that have risk of yellow fever, they do not need. Passengers transiting India by same aircraft. If you are just transiting, even if you are coming from Kenya or anywhere that you need yellow fever, but you are transiting in the same aircraft, not changing the aircraft, in the same aircraft, you do not need. The other one who doesn't need is passengers transiting of countries with risk of yellow fever transmission if not leaving the transit areas. So now, if you are transiting on the same aircraft, you are lucky. If you are transiting but you are not leaving the transit area, you are just staying in the transit area. For example, if you are going to Delhi and you are going to stick in Delhi to fly to the other destination, you do not need a yellow fever certificate because you are not entering India. So that is very good to know. And it is also recommended when you are going to India, it is good to have malaria prophylaxis just for your own sake. There are people who normally take malaria tablets just to protect themselves, because you never know. So that is so good. Thank you for listening. I shall come and give more tips regarding India and other countries. I'll come even with a video regarding Spain, because I know people normally make mistakes because of lack of knowledge, and I cannot allow you to make a mistake, my dear ones, simply because you are my friends and I want you to have a hassle-free flight to India from departure to your destination. Yes. If you are carrying pets and dogs, there are some rules that you are supposed to follow, because there are some people who normally carry pets just maybe for assistance. You know, there are some people who when they are traveling, they normally have guide pets, maybe a small dog to guide you or to assist you. Remember, we have got rules and regulations. You have to have an import permit. Yes. So that one, you know how to go about it. You have to ask the relevant authority. The cat or the dog must have a health certificate, rabies vaccination, special treatments, quarantine and all that. But now those ones, I'm going to come and talk about the pets later. But for now, remember, when you're going to India, that is what you need. So thank you for watching. May the Lord bless you. Continue asking. If you have any question regarding India, you can post that question in this video and I'm going to give an accurate answer. Remember, I am a trainer in travel documents, having worked in this industry for many years. I've worked for flights going to India. I have ever even worked for Air India itself. So I'm giving information out of knowledge. That is what I do, by the way. Though now I had a European flight, I have got information regarding Europe and any other destination. Thank you. May the Lord bless you. Kindly consider subscribing, liking, and sharing this information to people from Africa, to people from Asia, to people from the Middle East, and everywhere in the world who wish to travel to India. Bye.